Hi everybody, it's Levi. I'm back in the Nerd Cave again for day 27 of our 30-day video challenge. And today I want to talk to you about kids and technology, how to be a parent in a digital age. Here we go. How do we raise children in an era when there are millions, literally millions of channels of media for them to consume, and there are thousands of channels for them to communicate with the outside world? The moment you hand your child a screen that is connected to the internet, they are connected to the world and the world is connected to them. So you need to be aware of that. You need to prepare them for that and not necessarily try and protect them from that, but let them know how to behave. When I was growing up, we learned about stranger danger. If someone walks up to you and you don't know who they are and they offer you candy or they try and drag you into a van, we were supposed to do the following three things. I think in a digital world, there are sets of rules like that you can convey to your children, not to panic them, not to scare them, but to give them a sense of safety and boundaries. So we got our stepdaughter, a phone for her 13th birthday. She was the last one in her class to get a phone. I'm that dad. It's the way it is. I'm sorry, but you made it. Here's your phone. Immediately into the group text, immediately saw her social life take off a little bit. And I had to question very much our decision to wait until she was 13 because I do think we hindered her social life in that regard. At the same time, the very first time she got a spam text message from some lady named Isabella with a link saying, "I sent this just for you," she clicked on it and saw some things I would rather she not have seen. In fact, she would rather she had not seen them either. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that could happen." I hadn't educated her for that ahead of time. I should have. Now, it was pretty benign and we used it as a learning opportunity. I gave her the same rules that we taught her about strangers. If a stranger walks up to you on the street and offers you a book or a magazine or a video cassette or a CD, do you just take it? Do you then put it into your CD player and wonder what's going to happen? No. If a stranger sends you a text message, you should use the same set of rules. That's how I handled that. Kids and technology are two things that are always going to go together. Kids are always going to want the coolest thing, the latest thing. More importantly, kids have more time on their hands than they have responsibilities. So there's a couple things that brings to light. One, give your kids some chores to do. Take some of that time off their hands. Not all of it, but some of it. And two, your child is smarter than you about technology. If your kid is old enough to talk, if your kid is old enough to be in school, I guarantee you there are some things that child can do with technology that you are unaware of. You need to get comfortable with the idea of not knowing. You need to get comfortable with the idea of treating your offspring as a knowledge resource, of engaging with them about these things. Ask them questions. They know more than you think they do. If you're a parent of a child and you're a little bit concerned about all this technology that's out there, I want you to not be concerned as much as just aware and present in the moment when you talk to your child, that when your child says something informative to you, you can hear it. Treat your child as a resource and at the same time impart some responsibility to them along with it. You have to take care of your phone. We're not replacing it if you break it. I absolutely think it's critical that your kid brings their screens out of their room at night when they go to bed and plugs them in somewhere else in the house. They shouldn't have those in the bedroom. It's too tempting. And I don't expect them to have that kind of self-control. But during the day when they're using it, they have to take care of it. They have to keep it charged up. If they have questions, they have to ask. And if they have a request, they need to make it an informed request. Your job as a parent is to encourage their exploration and curiosity just the way you would if it was a school course, and to give them rules and guidelines on how to protect themselves in digital terms. Google actually has a program which is aimed at 8 to 12-year-olds to go through a digital cybersecurity course, and it's geared at children and it's very good for children. But honestly, I think a lot of parents, if you're in your late 30s and up, a lot of parents should take that course as well, because it talks about things like, what is a phishing attack? What is spam and where does it come from? How do I know if that email is really from my grandmother or if it's a fake? These are questions that a lot of adults don't know the answers to. Kids are both more naturally pessimistic about what they see online and more willing to share their information online. The demographic that spreads the most untrue links on Facebook is 65 and up, because they did not grow up incorporating the idea that something that they saw on a screen could be fake. My father grew up watching television, and if it was fake, that was a big, big deal. Like, there have been lies told on television for sure, but generally speaking, we trusted our journalists. We trusted the 3 news channels that we had. Now we have 300 news channels, and our generation and the generation above me has not really adjusted to the notion that somebody might just make something up. Kids have adjusted to that notion, so they're naturally more pessimistic about what they see, and they probably have a pretty good idea about what's kosher and what's not. It's your job to set boundaries, but you can't set boundaries without understanding the landscape. And for that, I really think you should look up some resources online. We'll put a couple things in our lower third here about that Google course and maybe some other resources. But you should also talk to your kids. Find out what their interests are. Find out what they know. Find out what their questions are. And find the answers together. This has been day 27. We are going to day 30. So we got 3 more days to go. And then we will cut back to a more reasonable schedule. But I've had so much fun talking with y'all. The very last parts for the new Nerd Cave are coming in tomorrow, so we're going to continue to work on this and get things rearranged, and I will give you guys the full tour, hopefully on day 30 if we can get everything in place. But thank you all so much for spending some time with me again, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.